Hello guys, and welcome to this first tutorial video on how to install, download and install Codeigniter platform. We'll be working with Codeigniter 4 for this particular episode. Now in this episode, I'm going to show you how to download Codeigniter 4 and run it. This set it up basically for running. And we'll see from when we download it, the two different ways of downloading it using Composer and just using the native zip file. And then from that we can be able to at least run it and see how that works. Now this tutorial assumes that you have already downloaded and installed PHP in your system. In my case, I'll be using XAMPP with PHP version 8. You can still use XAMPP with PHP version 7. You can use MAMP and WAMP, whichever is applicable to your case. My installation also assumes that you've already installed Composer, the dependency management software. But if you need me to do a video on it, you can leave a comment, and I'll be able to do a video on how to install XAMPP on your platform, how to install Composer on your platform, and how to use Composer and XAMPP at least for the installation. In this video, I'm going to show you how to download Codeigniter, and I'm going to show you how to use Codeigniter, at least to set it up and start using the PHP Spark, using their Spark server for at least running the service. So first, you will open your browser and you will go to codeigniter.com. And you will see a page that looks like this. You will have, there are links to the manual, to the download version. In my case, I'll click on download, the top bar. You can see we have download. Now you have different versions that you can download. You have Codeigniter 4, which is what you're going to be using, and it supports PHP version 7.3 and above. Codeigniter 3, which supports PHP version 5.6 and above. So in this case, you realize that Codeigniter is backward compatible. We will start by first installing it using the download function. So I will click on download. Sorry, seems like it's having issues. If that link doesn't work for you, you can always go back to the home page and click on this download, which will give you a link to the releases. I'm going to be downloading 4.1.4, which is, as at the time of this recording, the latest. And I will click on the source file. So you can choose either you want a zip file or a tar file. Depending on your installation, I think you can choose whichever is applicable to you. In my case, I'm using the zip file. I am going to save this. So this is going to be saved in the downloads folder. I'm going to drag it down to the desktop. So I'll just bring it here. And I will extract it. So I'm using an archiver to extract it. And the moment you extract it, then you will it will pop up. So here it is. Okay. Let me just clean the desktop so that we can find it. Here it is. Okay. Right, so I'm going to rename it to, I can give it a name CI. Now, I can open a terminal, so I'll right click on it and open a terminal at this folder. If you're on Windows ecosystem, then you can do the CD, you navigate, so you can open command prompt, you do CD / navigate to your desktop, then you navigate inside the folder. And to run it, in this case, I'm assuming that your Apache server is running. So as you can see, my server is up and running. Apache is running, my SQL service is running. So I'm using the control panel for XAMPP. Then in this terminal window or the command prompt, I will simply type php spark serve. Spark is their server environment, sort of similar to what Laravel had in Artisan. So in this case, Spark serve will allow us to run. And you can see that it starts with the PHP version 8 that I have installed in my development server. And the URL that we'll be accessing is localhost port 8080. So you can copy that, go back to the browser, open a new tab, and paste it, and you should be able to see this installation file or this Codeigniter interface that is working. Of course, you can navigate, you get the documentation, which is online, and it gives you a bit more information as to how you can use it. You can also open this file in my case, I'll be using Visual Studio Code, so I'm going to open the folder on the desktop. So I'm going to open the folder on the desktop, CI, and you will see that it has, yes, I need to trust all items, that is fine. You notice that it has a composer JSON file, which allows you to set the dependencies on what you need to have in this installation. So in this case, you can see it has requires PHP 7.3 and above or 8. We have an env file which allows us to set the configurations for our server. So the env files, you can set it for if your database is called test, then you can uncomment out these lines and set up the different services. So we have the Spark environment here, which allows us now to run the service itself, and it opens allows us to open this in the environment. It has a git ignore file because this is a git. The service was hosted on Git at some point, and therefore it allows us to have that. Now, the index.php file, which is the first page that is going to be loaded, is going to be in the public folder, and they mention that this is for purposes of security. We have the Htaccess file, which is a mode rewrite file that allows us to be able to remove the trailing slashes. So, for example, if you say localhost / the folder name / something, and you don't want to put the index.php every time, then this allows you to rewrite the elements. Robots.txt is simply to allow us to index this on Google search, so that allows us to do that. Now, we have the system folder, which contains the details about the core files of the Codeigniter application. And then we have the app, which is now where you'll be storing your files. So you have controllers where you'll have the base controller, which simply does the redirection. Then you have the home controller. So the first controller that you have here, which allowed us to run this file, is the home controller. We have database, so you can it supports migration. So in case you want to maybe define some few SQL files or SQL tables that you may want to migrate from one computer to another, then you have migrations for that. If you want to have some initial values, so for example, in the roles table, if you want to have the different user roles or the different administrator or an inbuilt administrator, then you can have them as a seeder value, yeah? And you can randomize the seeders. In this case, you can have some initial values that the system will be rolled out with. Of interest again to us is the models. So the models here will keep track of any connection to the database. So this is you'll be keeping your models where you will define your database elements, such as let's say you have a user table, then you'll have a user model that will be allow you to insert data to the user table and get data from the user table. And that essentially, with an MVC approach, we normally separate the model, the view, and the controller. So the model is database connection. The view is in charge of the interface, and the controller does the connection between the model and the view. So it allows you to do that communication. Then under views, we have the first page here is the welcome page, which is a simple HTML file. Of course, it has a .php extension because the framework is a PHP framework. But then in this file, you can see that we have all the components, and you can see we have the details. If you look at it, we have the section that has the about this page. So you will be defining your views in this part, your models in the models folder, and the controllers in the controllers folder. If you need to add any helpers, if you need to have any different languages that you want to encode the website in, for example, if you want to convert it into Spanish, then you can have the different language files here. If you have any additional libraries such as MPDF and such, whichever you may need, or if you are defining your own library that you will use, for example, M-Pesa, then you can put it here. Yeah, so this is just a brief introduction to the first way of installation. The second way of installation is where you will use Composer. So let me just create a new folder here and say, I'll leave it as untitled, and I want to navigate here inside it. So I create a new terminal at folder, and I'll be using the Composer to install this. So I have installed Composer system-wide. So in this case, I'll say Composer create project Codeigniter. And by the way, the same control or the same command is here, where if you are using the Composer installation, then you don't have to remember the commands. So in this case, it's Codeigniter 4 / the project name. So I can say my project is called test. By doing that, it will simply create it's supposed to be app starter. My bad. App starter. Then you can give the folder name, yeah. And what it will do, it will install for you, and it will extract the files for you. And the name of the file is going to be test. So in case you have tried it first and it doesn't accept, then it means that, so when I open this, it means that you need to change the name of the folder. And again, if you look at it, it has the exact same folder structure as what we had in it. And to run it, you can simply right click on it, open a new terminal there. So you'll navigate to it the same way we ran it the first time. With the other folder, you can say php spark serve. And again, you will get the development server on port 8080, which will give us, so if I say localhost port 8080 will give us a similar installation to what we had initially. Yeah, so I think, yeah, so that is it for this first tutorial. If you want me to do a tutorial on how to install XAMPP for different installations, please let me know. If you want me to do how to install Composer, then please let me know, and I will be able to do so. I will be in the next episode, I'll be taking you through how do we set up our first file in Codeigniter, and maybe create a simple page in Codeigniter and see how that runs. Till next time, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe for more content, and till next time. Bye-bye.